Is that okay?
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's right.
I'm
So, what have you? Welcome to Fab Live, everyone. Richard James is just having his. What is it, Richard, you've got there?
Oh, I've got Indian-style fish and chips.
Wow,
Absolutely delicious. So I'm sorry, I've almost finished, but just bear with me, and I'll be with you.
Okay, fine. You take your time. In the meanwhile, hello, everyone. We'd love to know where you're watching from in the world. And what brings you here? I can't imagine why you'd come along and spend any time with us while Richard's eating his fish and chips.
Oh,
no. Gosh, Kermit, there is 4 a.m. wherever Kermit is.
Oh, well done, Kermit. That's amazing.
There's a familiar name we haven't seen for a while on
Oh, yes.
in Finland. Yeah, Kermit's in Australia.
Great. Ian's in Lancashire, UK, look.
Hello, Jonathan in Hampshire.
Yeah.
Oh, great mixture. Stuart in Scotland. Hello, everyone. Welcome along to a very special Thunderbirds Day Fab Live, which is actually a fish and chips Fab Live for Richard. You carry on. You do that.
Yeah.
Very shortly, we'll be bringing you some Thunderbirds Day news, talking about some things which you may have spotted already, you may have not. And we'll be joined by some of the marvelous team at Anderson Entertainment who helped bring some awesome stuff to life, namely 2 Chris's and an AC. More on those later on, very soon. Happy Thunderbirds Day to you, Emilio. Have you spotted anything today in the Thunderbirds Day news that you have enjoyed, folks? I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments. Hello, Ray. Oh, look at his cosplay there.
What? Oh, that is good. That's him on the right.
Yeah, I don't think he's cosplaying as is that a bike? I can't really see. Yeah, okay. Lots of fabs and stuff coming through.
Yeah.
Okay, folks. So we'll bring you all the usual Fab Live nonsense, such as some news. I believe Rich has prepared some Fab or Fib.
Yeah, of course. Yes, just for old time's sake.
And also Blankety Blank and some other bits and bobs like that.
Yeah. Lots of fun and games.
Yes. Oh, there you go. Hello, James. We haven't seen you for a while.
Hi, James.
Happy birthday to Minnie Z or Minnie Z, depending on where in the world Minnie Z or Z is.
Happy birthday.
Great to have you along. There's Brad across the pond, and just brilliant to see so many people all over the place. So yes, happy Thunderbirds Day, everyone. We've got all sorts of Thunderbirds Day related stuff to chat to you about. And should we just get straight in with some news, Richard?
Oh, go on, let's dive into some news.
I think I may even have a classic news intro. Let's see if this works. God, it's so retro, isn't it? Makes me feel very, very happy indeed. So yes, it is the newsy news. And since it's Thunderbirds Day, everything here is going to be fairly Thunderbirdsy, as you might expect. Now, have you seen this? Or have you heard this, more importantly? Thunderbirds 4 Hours to Eternity. It's our gift to you for Thunderbirds Day. A 22-ish minute story performed by Nicholas Briggs with some lovely sound effects and music. It's from the 1968 Thunderbirds annual, I believe. Over 2,000 of you have downloaded it for free today already. So
wow,
have you downloaded and listened? Do let us know in the comments. If not, why not?
Gosh, I mean, if I had £1 for every download so far, well, I'd have £2,000.
Fish and chips for the rest of the year. Yeah. There you go, Scott.
Very good.
Scott, listen, my cat's dead. Very sad, of course, that news. But glad that you loved it. If you want to go and get it for free, you can get it from shop.jerryanderson.com. Just search 4 Hours or Thunderbirds Audiobook. Just add it to your cart and you can get it totally free of charge. As our Thunderbirds Day gift for you. Now, I'm going to exclusively reveal that we're going to do something related to that audio book later in the year. And I'm going to make AC come up and just talk to me very briefly in a slightly coded way as to not give away too much what we're going to do. I can see AC nodding, so he's ready to be half secret. AC, known to I'm sure many of the guys and girls watching. AC is our kind of, I guess, lead producer on the audiobooks and the audio range, and has been doing a fantastic job bringing these things together. AC, subtly, and without giving away any specific story titles, perhaps, can you tell us what this audiobook anthology type thing we might be doing for later in the year is?
I will do my very best, Jamie, but you've imposed quite a few restrictions there, so let's see what we can come up with. Well, let's see. Okay, you may be aware that there is a man who wears a hat. The hat is possibly the color red, but maybe not quite red. He may feature somewhere. Is this vague enough, Jamie? Am I being vague?
It's too vague. It's too vague. Let's say it's kind of like an audio annual. Is that a fair thing to say?
Yeah, I would say that's a fair thing to say. So much like the 4 Hours to Eternity, which I think turned out fantastically, and Nick has done a wonderful job reading that for us. We've got a few more similar kind of stories of a similar vintage, and featuring the other series such as Scarlet, and I think we're going to have possibly a Joe 90 in there as well, and possibly one more, and perhaps even some more Thunderbirds. Similar sort of length of stories, and they're all going to be part of an anthology, single narrator reading and performing all the voices, accompanied with sound effects and music and all those wonderful things.
Brilliant.
Great.
Very nicely described. Sorry for putting you on the spot there with all those restrictions, but you did an admirable job. So yes, that set, which we haven't actually come up with a title for yet, but it's kind of a TV21 anthology set, will be out for, we hope, sometime in December. So you can enjoy that for Christmas. And yes, Jonathan, I think Audio Annual is probably one of the best things. Nigel Smith thinks that that's the wrong person.
Tommy Cooper, the red hat who you were talking about earlier.
Nigel thinks I need a cushion. No, someone said that would be Joe 90 in a red hat, which is fair enough. Well, it seems probably then appropriate that we talk about this beauty, Peril in Peru.
Yes.
And probably a good time to welcome up the adapter of that audio story, Chris Dale.
There he is.
Everybody.
Chris.
Happy Thunderbirds Day.
Happy Thunderbirds Day.
So Chris and AC, could you just talk to us very briefly about what Peril in Peru is, what it was called previously, and then maybe, Chris, you could give us a run through, just a little tease of the story, perhaps.
Well, we have it right here. This is the 90s reprint. This was originally Calling Thunderbirds. This is the second of the John Thaden Thunderbirds novels. Published in 1966, I believe, which is the story of Brains has just built a lovely earthquake detecting device, and naturally, this being Thunderbirds, as soon as it's finished, there's an earthquake. And in the course of doing the whole rescue thing, from there, the Hood gets involved, as we find there's a bit more of a mystery involved here, and Penelope and Parker join in, and one or two other villains as well. So it's a sort of treasure hunt journey for the lost civilization type story. I think that covers all of it, really.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit too much info there. I don't know if there's anything left for AC there.
Great.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And AC, would tell us about sort of cast and stuff for people that maybe don't know the audio range so far and what to expect from it.
So for this particular one, we've got the returning cast from the original first story, Terror from the Stars, which was originally just called Thunderbirds. And for this particular one, we have John Culshaw back as Jeff and Parker. We've got Genevieve Gaunt as Lady Penelope. We've got Anna Leong Brophy as Tintin. Justin Lee as Scott, John, Kirano, and the Hood as well. Wynne Forrester is back as our narrator, and also Brains and Virgil. We've got Joe Jameson back as Alan and Gordon, and he's playing one of the main guest characters this time as well. So all of the cast from the original are returning.
Brilliant. And they are awesome.
Yeah, they all do a superb job with that. It was amazing to listen to all those voices, all those old characters coming to life again. And I'd love to pick out, say this person was particularly good and that one was particularly good, but they're all brilliant, and they've all done such a wonderful job bringing those old characters back. So it was some really amazing stuff to listen to that coming together.
Yeah, but I should also add sensitively adapted by you, Chris, and
some things
and
had to be very sensitive. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. There's certain sensibilities one has to be aware of these days. But for those of you who don't know, we've been making a real thing of this, picking up these old books from the 60s and bringing them back in new incarnations and new titles. The first was Terror from the Stars. We're not just doing Thunderbirds, we've also brought back some Stingray, more of that being recorded. Peril in Peru is our latest, and there's many more to come. We're all going to be very, very busy doing loads more of these over the coming months and next couple of years, in fact. And also, an outlier here.
Oh, look.
I know this is not Thunderbirds related.
It really isn't, no.
No, but Richard, just briefly give us a quick 30-second summary of what on earth 5 Star 5 is, please.
Gosh, well, alongside all the return of the old classic series like Thunderbirds and so on that we're hearing so much about, I'm sort of trawling through the Anderson archive and digging out old scripts that were never produced and old treatments that were never made into TV series or films. And here's one such thing, 5 Star 5, 1976, I think. Sort of between seasons of Space 1999. I think this was written by, remind me, Jamie, it was Jerry and...
Tony Barwick. 78, wasn't it? 77, 78, somewhere around there anyway.
Yeah, but it's been adapted into a novel and, again, a fantastic audiobook by Robbie Stevens, who's another Anderson alumni who you might well know.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. So lots more of that to come, and it's a great way to get sort of new stories and old stories alike out to you in quick arrangement. So yes, thanks AC and Chris for doing such great work, and also Ben Page, who is not currently on the line, but may join us later on. Chris and AC, I'm going to very briefly dump you off of here because I want to speak to somebody else for a moment, but I will have you back very, very shortly. So we'll see you in a sec. The reason I've got rid of them is just because I wanted to give all of you another little insight into something that's coming very soon next month. Well, that's kind of tomorrow, isn't it? But it's not quite there. And that is this.
Oh, look.
Yes, we've got a 2022 official Thunderbirds calendar coming. And of course, I'm sure you'll recognize some rather beautiful imagery on there, all courtesy of this bloke.
How did I get here?
We've got a constant feed into Chris's office there.
Why would you let me be?
So, Chris, what can you tell us about this upcoming calendar? What, any exciting images that you can tease verbally?
Well, it's based on Thunderbirds, and it's going to take you through the year of 2022. Once again, we've got Cameron, Jack, and AC back to write some more little blurb stories for me to work on. And right at the minute, I have just been deconstructing. No, I can't move out to this one. Deconstructing Fab 1 for it's the last and final piece of artwork for it, and then
Lovely.
Okay, awesome.
Well, out what's under the hood in Fab 1.
Perfect. I mean, all the images and stuff will be gorgeous. We know because Chris always turns out lovely, lovely stuff. It's going to be quite similar to the Supermarination calendar from last year, right? But just purely Thunderbirds focused.
I've not really mixed up the format too much. So if you enjoyed that and you're a big Thunderbirds fan and kind of just want some extra stories and just some vaguely interesting art, then absolutely, come on down and get some Thunderbirds 2022 calendars.
Perfect. Ned Kelly asks, how do we order it? Well, it's not available to order yet, Ned, because as you can see, Chris hasn't quite finished it yet. But that will be finished very, very soon. It'll be probably live on the Jerry Anderson store within a couple of weeks for pre-order, and hopefully out to you by kind of early mid-November, let's say, somewhere around there. So they're going to be pretty lovely. So, Chris, thank you for your excellent work as always there. Absolutely stunning stuff. We're going to just zip through the rest of the news quickly. Chris and AC will welcome you back very shortly. But for now, can I get very excited?
Come on. I know you want to.
Oh,
look at that.
This is my favorite thing about today.
Yeah.
That we've finally got to announce this fantastic Jerry Anderson concert that's happening next year. So the time and date, actually not the time, but the date will be the 16th of April, 2022. The place, Birmingham Symphony Hall. And it is a complete musical celebration of the world of Jerry Anderson. So all of Barry Gray's themes, but not just Barry's stuff. We go well beyond that. Richard Harvey, Crispin Morel, and maybe some others too. Yes.
Nice.
Birmingham Symphony Hall is one of the best venues in the country. Full orchestral performances, vocalists, so there will be some singing. So Richard, get
me.
there. So yes, this is the location.
Fantastic.
Thunderbird 1 will not actually be blasting off there, but you can see the Symphony Hall on the left there. It's a fantastic, fantastic place. We're very, very lucky to get it. And that date, the 16th of April, is a really great one because it's the Easter weekend. So hopefully people have got some time off. They can make a bit of a trip of it.
Yeah.
So will you be coming along? We would love to know if you can make it. Just as a little heads up, a little secret for all of you. Tickets will go on pre-sale next week, I think the 7th of October. But you'll need a password to access the pre-sale. Now, because you're all here and you're clearly Thunderbirds fans, I'm going to share the password with you right now. So have you got a pen?
Got a pen? Yeah.
Got a pen?
Yep.
Okay. It's Jerry 2022. All capital letters, GERRY 2022. So when you go to the Birmingham Symphony Hall website, ticket box office website next week, there'll be a password box to get access to this, and it's just Jerry 2022, and then you can make sure you get a ticket. So we're pretty sure it'll sell out fairly quick because this hasn't happened. Well, a complete selection of all the show's music has never happened, I don't think, orchestrally. Yes, there was the Barry Gray concert in 2008, but this goes well beyond. So yes, head along on the 7th for the pre-sale. Tickets are from £38, so it's not horrifically expensive. We tried to keep it priced as accessibly as possible. It will be very special indeed, and some special guests and special content to be announced in the next few weeks. So I saw somebody there ask about the prices. Yes, so Scott, prices from £38 a ticket, so hopefully not too crazy, and plenty of time to make arrangements and stuff for next year. I'm very excited. Michael S, it's all capitals. Yes, capital GERRY, and then 2022. If you're an email subscriber, we'll remind you of that the day before, so you can make sure you can get a ticket. So I'm very, very excited about that.
Brilliant.
You may also have seen some Thunderbirds Day T-shirts.
Oh,
They're lovely.
Oh,
A bit of Parker, a nice bit of Penny.
Yeah.
And my personal favourite,
Aha.
which I can't possibly wear. I'm afraid my dogs are barking in the background, so I may have to disappear in a second to get rid of them. Now, I'm bringing back AC again to talk about something else special. AC, what's this all about? Tell us about Century 21 Tech Talk, and also give us a pitch for the first episode of The Mole.
Okay, well, Century 21 Tech Talk was an idea that I think I pitched to you back in 2018. For a series of videos just about one of the characters or multiple characters from the series, talking about some of the technology in the vehicles, and we quickly came up with the idea, well, it would make sense for Brains to do it, the guy with the know-how. So we approached David Graham. He said yes. We recorded the first series back in December 2018. And then last year, I think it was, we recorded 2 more series with John Culshaw, and he took on the role of General Ed Straker, having got a bit of a promotion in the interim years. Went through and did all the Shadow and some of the other ones from Terrahawks and so forth. And we actually recorded series 2 and 3 back to back, a couple of days apart. Although series 3 is just this morning been released for Thunderbirds Day, and this particular episode focuses on the mole, with a lovely shot of John Tracy standing on top of it there, because let's face it, John Tracy really does not get enough to do. So it's a sort of 6 or 7 minute video. It goes through, it talks about the technology behind the mole, some things you'll be very familiar with, the fact that it digs, it's a fairly obvious point. And then there's some little other bits of trivia, some pulled from comics and things like that, that it talks about as well, and just beefs it out a little bit, all interspersed with little 2-dimensional blueprints and some of Chris's lovely artwork.
Yes. Well, it's rather fantastic. Can you tease any upcoming vehicles, maybe just 1 or 2?
Okay, I can tease a couple. Those with very sharp eyes and a very long attention span may have made it as far as the credits at the end of the episode, so you might get a few hints in there. I will also say that there are 2 upcoming episodes that are not featured in the end credit pictures, and one of them is Thunderbirds related, and one of them is also Thunderbirds related, because I've just remembered that it's not the 2 that I was thinking it was. So yes, they're both Thunderbirds related.
Brilliant. Okay, well that's a great tease pitch for Tech Talk. They are awesome. They're just is a great kind of few minutes of escapism, just geeking out over these beautiful bits of tech. Lovely work by UAC, but also very fine work by the lovely John Colshaw doing Jeff Tracy. I mean, he's just got that lovely rich warmth that Peter Dineley had, and he's done a fantastic job. So thanks, AC. I'm going to kick you out again. We'll have you back very shortly. Thank you.
01 is asking, where do I watch this?
On YouTube. youtube.com/Jerry Anderson TV. You can catch it there and go and watch all the rest of them as well, because there's 2 whole other series of Tech Talk, so you can enjoy those. Yes, Jack Williams. Wow, I quite agree. They've done a fantastic job. Now, just very quickly racing through the rest of the stuff we've got here, because I'm, waffling on because I got overexcited about the concert and various other bits and pieces. So some of you may have seen today, we put up for sale a rather lovely print by John Reynolds, who's been taking these fantastic bits of TV21 art and doing hand-printed screen images of them, screen prints. That's sold out, unfortunately, almost straight away. Excuse my dogs barking. I'll talk louder over them for a minute. But John is doing a whole range of these. Here's John at work doing these things by hand. He creates each one at a time, so they're all slightly imperfect, all got slight variations, but they're really lovely studying pieces that really kind of make the most of those TV21 art pieces. So more of those coming soon. And also you may have seen these lovely badge sets, which I'm currently pairing up with these notebooks. The Moonbase Alpha logbook, Commander's logbook, and the International Rescue Agents notebook will be available very soon. But I just thought you'd like a little preview of those, because they are rather smart. That's all I've got Thunderbirds-wise, news-wise. I think that's quite a lot of stuff, isn't it?
I should say so. Anyone would think it was Thunderbirds Day.
It would indeed. But we'd love to know if you're going to make it to the concert next year, because I'm extremely excited about that. And it's going to be a rather special thing. So 16th of April, 2022, Birmingham Symphony Hall. Tickets go on pre-sale next week from the 7th. And the password to access the pre-sale is Jerry 2022. All capital letters and obviously numbers for 2022. You don't have to spell it all out. Eric's just come to see me and licked my hand. So, Eric, please don't do that. Thank you very much. We are going to go on to some games and goodies, I think.
Are we?
Yeah, Richard James. I mean, you prepared this thing called Super Magnification, don't you? So would you like to explain the game? I shall welcome back the guys, and we'll all work together to try and work out what on earth you put in front of us.
Oh, very good. Okay, yeah, this is Super Magnification. It's where I show you a super magnified image from a still from a. Okay, it's a Thunderbirds episode this time, and you have to try and guess what the image is, and then when you've had a few goes, we'll zoom out and see if you were correct. Simples.
Should we have a look at the image?
Go on. Now pause it after when it's on, so it doesn't run through
I prepared this.
Thank you. Very good.
So here is your super magnified image.
Oh, I mean, if you squint, it might help. It's. I appreciate. It wasn't a particularly sort of high resolution image that I chose.
It's really not very high resolution at all.
Maybe step away from the screen and squint and look through a pair of dark glasses.
You stand back.
Is that the corner wingtip of Fireflash?
Chris thinks it's the corner wingtip of Fireflash. Parker's nose, I'm seeing there from Robert Monk in the comments.
I thought it was Fireflash earlier as well.
0x wing, says Steve
Bushell. That?
Yeah. Thunderbird 1, says Mark. Wing of Fireflash, says Phil Steer, who's joining us. That's nice, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. A few Fireflashes.
Thunderbird 1 here.
Again. Yeah. Sky Thrust. Landed Thunderbird 1. Fireflash from the credits. Silver Lady. Oh, from Fab 1's Radiator Grill.
Let's have one final look.
Could it
I
be
think it's the clock.
the Silver Lady?
It's
the
a
hand
bit
of a
close
clock.
to Thunderbird
The
1,
hand of
but
a
it's
clock?
just small enough to be Fireflash.
You think so? Well, shall we
Shall we-
reveal all?
Let's put everyone, including ourselves, out of any misery. Here's your big reveal. Lots of correct guesses there. Well done,
Let me
everyone.
whistle away.
Yes,
There we are.
Fireflash.
Yeah, well done. Well done, Chris. You jumped in much too quickly with the correct answer.
You're supposed to drag it out a bit, Chris, but I appreciate you don't want this to go on too long. It's
Yeah,
totally
that's fair enough. Yes. Well done, everybody. Well done.
Yeah, there's no prizes, but if you did get it right, give yourself a pat on the back.
Exactly.
And thanks all for playing along and making Richard very happy. Now, some other favourites that we've got in this very special Thunderbirds Day edition. We can choose from Blankety Blank or Fab or Fib.
Yes, they're both back with a vengeance for
So,
Thunderbirds Day.
Richard, do you want to pick which one you want to attack first here?
Well, should we go for Blankety Blank?
Okay, roll VT.
Appearing tonight on Virtual Tracy, Destiny Angel, Officer Orange, Atlanta Shore, Captain Scarlet, and Dr. Venus. And here are your hosts, Richard James and Jamie Anderson.
It never
missed
gets
that.
old, does it?
Yeah,
Isn't that
thanks,
lovely?
Thanks for that, AC. It's an oldie but a goodie.
Yeah.
So, Richard,
Yes.
it's Blankety Blank or
Yes.
Match Game to our
Sure.
cousins across the Atlantic. Would you
Yeah.
like to explain how this works?
Yes. Robert Cassidy says, "Do Wogan." Well, I mean, it's early, isn't it? So let's wait and see. It's Blankety Blank or a super match game or whatever you want to call it. It's I'm going to give you 3 quotes from Thunderbirds episodes, but each one will have a missing word, and it's up to you to fill in the blank. And also tell me which episode is it from. All right?
Can't
That
wait.
makes sense. Now, because every expense is spared, I've got it written on a piece of paper again. So I'm going to give you the first one here. Can you tell me?
Oh, I'm trying to make you the main one.
Yeah, you are. Go on. Listen, pal, it's his blank. Can you tell me what is the missing word and which episode of Thunderbirds is that from? Suggestions, please.
I think we may
a
either I
tricky
lost you or we may have lost you, Richard. Will you repeat that for me?
It's quite simple. What's the missing word? What's the blank? Listen, pal, it's his blank. He calls the tune. What's the missing word? And what episode of Thunderbirds is it from? Archer Collins Station from Ricochet, perhaps. Sham Sham says Crazy Jedi. Lozzie says Money. Chloe Clark Concert, very appropriate, perhaps. Plane Money from the Martian Invasion. Giant Alligator. Money Producer Martian Invasion. Anyone in the studio got any ideas? AC.
I was thinking
Chris?
Martian Invasion, possibly film or movie.
Yeah.
It's not a
Yeah,
spaceship,
I
so I
think
don't
so.
know.
Okay.
Or it's his money, maybe.
Harmonica is a suggestion as well from Robert's Video Madness. Okay, well, what if I was to tell you the missing word is money? Listen, pal, it's his money. He calls the tune. So what episode? Shall I reveal all? It's so tense. It's from The Martian Invasion.
Nice.
There.
Brilliant.
It's true because it says so there.
Yeah, that beautifully handwritten Blankety Blank.
What, another one? Here's another one. Come on. What a maiden voyage this has turned out to be. Even the blank is deteriorating. What a maiden voyage this has turned out to be. Even the blank is deteriorating. The old Wogan, eh? What a maiden voyage this has turned out to be. Even the blank is deteriorating. Any ideas? Let's have the missing word. And gin. Even the gin is deteriorating, says Robert Monk. Heating, could be. Paint. Wogan. Yes, thank you. Yes. Danger, Ocean.
Even the
Deep.
Wogan is deteriorating.
Yeah,
You're right.
well, that's true. Yeah. So, what a maiden voyage this has turned out to be. Even the
I can see quite a few what I think are correct guesses in here.
Even the weather is deteriorating, and that is from the episode Danger at Ocean Deep.
Yeah, we had quite a few of those. That's clearly an iconic quote.
Sorry I'm late, folks. I had to blank the blank before I took off. Chris Dale's nodding already. Sorry I'm late, folks. I had to blank the blank before I took off. Sorry I'm late, folks. Gone and never called me mother. I had to blank the blank before I took off.
Oh,
What
yes.
could that possibly be?
I can see some here. Yes, they're
they're all
flooding in. They are flooding in.
There we are. Quite right. It is indeed. Sorry I'm late, folks. I had to milk the cows before I took off from Operation Crash Dive.
And loads of you guessing that one in
Ta-da!
double quick time. Nice work.
Blankety blank, blankety blank. There we are.
Is that a lot, is it?
That's it.
Oh,
just the three.
Oh, thanks
Well done,
all of
everybody.
you for playing along so enthusiastically at home and for all the excellent guesses.
Yeah, very good.
I think I've got one. That's it. So well done, gang.
Well,
fantastic
all
work. Just for those of you who are joining us, happy Thunderbirds Day.
Happy Thunderbirds Day.
Let us know in the comments what you've been doing or what you are going to do for your Thunderbirds Day evening. And I'm just going to remind you of the thing that I'm most excited about today, and that is this, that next year, April the 16th, 2022, it's Stand By for Action, Jerry Anderson in concert, a full evening covering his entire career, all the themes, loads of incidentals, other treats, fantastic other content which is to be announced, and some rather special guests which we'll be confirming in the coming week. So yes, if you missed out on the password to get the pre-sale ticket access, don't worry, it's Jerry 2022, all capital letters, and you can do that from the 7th from the Birmingham Symphony Hall box office website. Right, back to normal business, back to the most important thing, I suspect. There's another game, isn't there, Richard?
Oh, yeah. Before we get to Fab or Fib, though, I was just looking over at it's our sister, the podcast, the Facebook podcast group for the Jerry Anderson podcast, which you can catch every week, has its own Facebook group, and you can join in. Anyway, Steve Rogers has been conducting a series of polls over the last few weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, one of them has been, most popular Space Precinct character and things like that. We can gloss over that because he also conducted a poll on everyone's favourite pod vehicle from Thunderbird. So I would like to ask you, gentlemen in the studio, and those of you who are watching at home, top 3 pod vehicles from Thunderbird 2. What do you think they might be in third place, for example, as voted for by listeners of the podcast? What would you think? Third place goes
Elevator
to
cars?
Elevator cars, yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Well, last time I looked, Firefly.
Oh, you see, I was going to go Firefly.
Yeah,
Right,
really,
how
really
do these
number 2.
these
Yeah.
expertise?
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Second place, what do we think second place? Favorite pod vehicles?
Elevator
Last
cars
time I
again.
looked.
Yeah.
Same-
Covering
same-
elevator cars.
Just keep saying it until it happens.
Surprisingly, it's the Mole in second
Oh,
place.
okay.
You were saving that, weren't you?
Is it going to be like a surprise mono break for number 1?
It's going to be Thunderbird 4.
The car that they had in one episode.
Currently, no, it's Thunderbird 4 in first place when I last looked. It might change. If you want to join in the fun, go over to Facebook and join the group and have your say. But currently, Thunderbird 4 is number 1.
Amazing.
Time for Fab or
Facebook.com.
Fib, do you think?
I was going to say facebook.com/groups/podsterons if you want to go there. But yes, you're right. It is time for Fab or Fib.
Come
And
on,
I've
then.
also reinstated an old favourite intro.
Oh,
Thanks
right.
to a friend of the show. Are you ready for this?
go on.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Fab or Fib.
Oh, I missed that
Was
one.
that Mark's? Mark's
I
Simpson Lodge?
believe that is a mark, isn't
Yeah,
it? Yeah.
great, fantastic.
for that, Mark.
Yeah, nice to see. Oh, look, people are getting in already. Robert Monk's saying number 2 is Fab. There we are.
For those who are not familiar with Fab or Fib, Richard, would you like to explain the rules?
Quite simple. I'm going to read out 5 facts from the Jerry Anderson universe. This time they're all Thunderbirds related, of course, but only one of them is true. Only one of them is fab, and the other 4 are fibs. They're not true. So it's up to you to spot the fab one and to tell me which one you think is true. Now, if you say that one of them is fab, that means you've spent your fab, and the rest must therefore be fibs. Okay? But if you get to the end and you haven't yet used your fab, then by default, the last one must be true. Does that make sense?
I
Yes.
think it sort of made sense.
Yes.
Yes. Now, there's a crucial question here. Who's drawing? For those who are not familiar, normally I would very quickly, hastily and poorly try to sketch the Fabs or Fibs, but I'm taking a break from that for this Fab Live, and I've handed over responsibility to...
Chris is very subtly... Are you reaching for a pen there, Chris?
Yeah. AC, have you got a pen or something there?
I will go and get one. Just
Go on. Off you pop.
go for it. I'll be right back.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah, please do. I mean, I might have a little sketch around, but
Well, I might have a little sketch around myself. Why don't you at home also grab a pen and paper and have a little draw along as we play Fab or Fib?
there you go. It's the best evening ever.
Wow.
But
Okay.
Chris is a professional artist. He's going to have an edge on the rest of us.
Artist.
Come
Have you
on,
ever
Chris.
seen any of my live drawing?
I've
Chris?
seen your sketches,
It's in your
Chris. You're a
mind.
very good sketcher as well. So
I mean, these are going to be
Really good one.
quite a challenge. Some of these I think are going to be quite difficult to draw, but
Brilliant.
you'll see. You'll see as we go along. So obviously, it's kind of bonus points for speed of drawing, gentlemen. So let's not have any too detailed portraits. Are you ready for these?
can't
So
wait.
your first fact, is this fab or fib? British thespian David Graham was the first actor to be cast in his roles as Brains and Parker in Thunderbirds in 1964. Strangely, just the year before, he had appeared in a radio comedy show called All at Sea, featuring the comedic misadventures of the crew of a Royal Navy frigate, where he provided the voices for Midshipman Parker and radio operator Brains McCoy. Is that fab or fib?
Sounds very convincing, potentially.
I'll give it to you again. British
Connor's gone straight in
thespian
there with Fab.
David Graham was the first actor to be cast in his roles as Brains and Parker in Thunderbirds in 1964. Strangely, just a year before, he had appeared in a radio comedy show called All at Sea, featuring the comedic misadventures of the crew of a Royal Navy frigate, where he provided voices for Midshipman Parker and radio operator Brains McCoy. Fab or fib? True or false? Sounds like the Navy lark, says Dog Walker. Well, fib, says Ryan. Fib says 5,000 miles from home. Steve Bushell, very wisely, perhaps, is saving his fab for later.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Yes.
fibs. There's a couple of fabs.
Yeah, but remember, if you're saying this is fab, then it means all the rest must be fibs. Well done, AC. Very good.
Nice.
Any others?
Trying to draw, you know that like iconic Navy hat on top of
That's
Brains?
great. Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm so glad I'm not competing this
Yeah,
week.
the
This is
standard
quite-
has just
this is
shot up, hasn't it?
quite
It's amazing.
astonishing.
That's very
Brilliant
good.
work, lads.
Right.
That's great.
Lots of fibs there, yes. Shirley, Jenny. There's a fab there from Jenny D. Fib says Simon. Fib says Afton. Okay, let's move on to the second fact. Are you ready? The puppet stages used for the filming of Thunderbirds were only 1/5 the size of those used for a standard live-action production, with the Crichton Ward mansion sets being particularly authentic. So much so that when the James Bond producers, having completed filming on 1963's From Russia with Love, realized they needed an establishing shot of the interior of a stately home to make sense of a scene, they received permission from Jerry's team to redress the Crichton Ward Manor miniature set to shoot a quick shot of the empty room rather than go to the expense of building the entire set again. Is that fab or fib?
I mean, it's very timely that you'd mentioned a Bond thing today, isn't it?
Oh, it is, yes, that's true. I went to see it today, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
Any good?
I'm giving nothing away. Fab, says ST. Fab, says Artful. Yeah. Few fibs as well. Phil Steer
Yeah.
thinks this one might be a fab.
there's plenty of fibs along the way here.
Yeah. So I'll give it to you one more time. Puppet stages for filming Thunderbirds were only 1/5 the size of those used for standard live-action production. The producers of From Russia with Love realized that they needed an establishing shot of a set of a stately home, which they'd missed during the initial filming. So they asked Jerry's team if they could redress the Crichton Ward Manor miniature set to shoot a quick shot of the empty room rather than go to the expense. What was that about confusing?
The look on my face was confusing people because they think I haven't got a clue.
Fab or fib?
So
Fib, says Andrew. It sounds pretty. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Quite certain about that, isn't he?
Yeah.
How are we doing on the drawings, gentlemen?
I got From Russia with Love and Thunderball mixed up. So this is the Crichton Ward mansion with James Bond flying out of it.
Oh, yes, I see. Yeah, fair enough. Nice, AC. That's very good.
Nice. That's great.
Who's the chap in the hat? Odd Job, perhaps?
Yeah.
Look, Chris Dale's recreated the classic gun barrel shot.
Brilliant work.
Recreated. There's one word for it.
Yeah, very good.
Super impressed by the drawing skills here tonight.
Yeah, a few fabs and a few fibs. Right, here we go with your next fact. The largest and perhaps most famous of all the models was the 7-foot Fab 1, which cost £2,500 to build. Rolls-Royce supervised the construction of the plywood model and supplied an authentic radiator grille for close-up shots at the front of the car in exchange for its cooperation. The company, Rolls-Royce, requested that a spirit of ecstasy be fixed to the chassis and that the characters avoid referring to the brand with abbreviations such as Rolls. Is that fab or fib?
Interesting.
Were they not allowed to call it a Rolls?
A roller.
A roller? Fib, says says Stuart. Fab, says Chris Bate.
Yeah. This has got people torn a bit more. I'd say this is looking 50-50 right
Kenneth
now.
Roberts is saying a fib for this one as well, for number 3.
There's a fair few people have thrown away their fabs now.
Yes, fibby fib, says Jenny D. I'll give it to you one more time. The largest and perhaps most famous of all the models was Fab 1. Rolls-Royce itself supervised the construction of the model, and in exchange for its cooperation, it asked that the characters avoid referring to the brand with abbreviations such as Rolls. Did we ever hear them say Rolls in the series? Can you think of a moment where Parker was asked to get the Rolls? Or
Martin Smith's used his fab already, but yeah, fab.
Well, you see,
that is the worry with this game, Martin.
Yeah, that's right. And AC's given up entirely.
Yeah, he's just walked off.
He's got to get his pink pen, I think, for a little bit of colouring in.
Okay, nice.
Sorry about that.
That's quite all right.
Now, Richard, I've got a query on the rules here.
Yes.
01, changing mine to fab. Is that allowed?
Oh, do you know what? I'm going to allow it within the space of me asking the question and moving on to the next one. How's that?
Okay, fine.
So you can say fab, and they go, oh, actually, now think about it, maybe it's a fib. But remember, if this one's fab, that means that every other one must be a fib. And if you've already used your fab, well, this must be a fib. How are we doing, gentlemen?
How are we with the sketches? Yeah.
2 more facts to go.
Run out of paper. And
nice.
That's pretty good, though.
That's amazing.
Cool. Yeah, not bad.
Lovely.
Very good. F.A.B.
Is he using his fab?
Yes.
That's
right. And Chris Dale.
I have to I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on.
No, we don't either.
That's pretty.
A lot of grumpy people and a car.
I love this. There's like a screaming face just looking at what you've done.
Yeah, that's a nice touch. Yeah,
there you go. I think that comment is a review of your sketch, Christy. That's
right.
Fantastic work.
Here we are. Fact number 4. Is this fab or fib? Filming of Thunderbirds was often interrupted by the police. Not that the team were misbehaving in any way, but the puppet solenoids that operated the mouths operated on the same frequency as the local police radios. In the early days of filming, scenes were often ruined as the puppets seemed to abandon their recorded dialogue to suddenly request backup for a traffic violation on the M4. Is that fab or fib? Did that happen? Might have done.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah. Thanks, Keith, with his vote of confidence there. Thinks it's a fib. Quite a few fibs here. Fib.
She's playing the whole thing now.
Ah, yes. So she's saying number 3. Mm-hmm.
Lots of fibs here.
Yes. Filming of Thunderbirds was often interrupted by the police. The puppet solenoids operated the mouths, operated on the same frequency as the local police radios. In the early days of filming, scenes were often ruined as the puppets seemed to abandon their recorded dialogue to suddenly request backup for a traffic violation on the M4. Is that true or false? Is it fab or fib?
Utterly fibulous, according to Steve H.
I've got a feeling it's Fab, says Train Lover 16. But Moon, I've used my Fab, so it's a fib. Well, there we are. Them's the rules.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Here we go. What's AC got there?
Back up. Stop it, you lot.
This is John saying Nino, Nino.
Right. Yes. Good. Good.
As he does.
Yeah. Great.
Chris Dale's
That's
putting
very good.
finishing touches to his masterpiece there, I can see.
Yes.
Amazing.
What?
I
It looks
don't
like a giant biscuit. Why is it like a digestive or something? Chocolate digestive. Very good.
It's a great puppet.
It's like
Fantastic.
the puppets eating one whole wagon wheel.
Right, finally, here's your last fact of the 5. If you haven't used your Fab yet, that means that this must, by default, be Fab.
Yep.
The famous countdown from the beginning of the show could have sounded rather different if voice actor Peter Dineley had not intervened. In Jerry's original concept, each of the Thunderbirds' craft was to be given alphabetical labels rather than numbers. So they would have been Thunderbirds A to E rather than 1 to 5. It was Diney himself who convinced Jerry otherwise after protesting that a countdown using letters just wouldn't have the same element of tension. E, D, C, B, A. Could have happened.
I sort of
Was it
wish
Fab
that
or
was
Fib?
Fab.
Is that Fab or Fib? Did Peter Dineley intervene and rob the world of the opportunity? Ross Patterson, poor Ross, hasn't used his Fab, so it must be Fab. Did he rob the world of the opportunity to hear the famous Thunderbirds countdown, not in letters, rather not in numbers, but in letters? That's an FIB, says ST. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And Kelly says Fib. The Harry29 says Fib. Edward says Fib. How awful. Yes, that's rather. ABCDE Fib, says Phil Steer.
Phil Steer of the Phil Steer podcast.
Yes, indeed. Nice to have you back, Phil. Yeah, very good. So I think there's a unanimous fibbing going on. It's
Yeah.
not Fab, it's a Fib. Yeah.
Okay,
Fib,
that's
yeah,
a relief.
Yeah. So, gentlemen, how are you doing with your doodles? Yes, very good.
The
Very
light
good. Like
design
Jerry
there is amazing, and a dad actually. That's great
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
Big fan of that.
Nicely done.
So I've just written all the Thunderbirds A,
Yeah.
B,
Yeah.
Nice,
D,
Great.
and then Thunderbird 5 purpling off the page as always.
Yes.
brilliant.
Very nice.
I put Jerry and Peter Dineley on countdown.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. I'll have an E, please. Harold.
That's it.
Very good. Well, there are your 5 facts.
Brilliant work, gents.
so-
So, Richard, you want to do a very brief recap, and we'll
Let's
have Chris, and AC flash up the appropriate
Oh,
drawing
yes. Okay.
as you go.
Oh, right, good. See if you can keep pace with me. Right, so number 1, did actor David Graham appear in All at Sea playing Midshipman Parker and radio operator Brains McCoy? Number 2, did the Bond producers use the interior set of the Creighton Ward Manor miniature to shoot a scene for From Russia with Love? Number 3, did Rolls-Royce insist that no one use abbreviations when referring to the Fab 1 Rolls-Royce? Number 4, did the police often interrupt filming of Thunderbirds? And finally, number 5, did Peter Dineley convince Jerry that actually the craft would be much better off numbered 1 to 5 rather, than lettered A to E? There they all are. Let's whittle them down, shall we?
Have to say, absolutely sterling work with those sketches. I'm
Very good at it.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely
great.
brilliant.
Very good. Okay, right. So let's whittle them down a bit, shall we? Well, as much as I really like this one, the Bond producers never did ask if they could film an interior set of a stately home rather than build their own set again. So it was not number 2. Number 2 was a fib. There it is. Likewise, filming of Thunderbirds was not, as far as I know, ever interrupted by the police. In that the puppets never did, I don't think, resort to very good parroting out the police radio. So that's number 4, also a fib. obviously, Peter Dineley never did have to convince Jerry that A to E wasn't going to work and it should actually be
Alphabetic countdown.
Yes. So number 5 is also a fib, which leaves, I think, number 3
Yes, we did. 3.
as
Three.
fab. There it is. Yes, according to my sources, Rolls-Royce did in fact insist that no characters ever referred to the Rolls-Royce as anything other than the Rolls-Royce. Is that right, gentlemen? Do we know of any other specific instances where they might? I saw people commenting, well, I'm sure that Parker used to call it the Roller, or Lady Penelope called
I
it
have
the
a
Rolls.
feeling it might have been like once, one exception, but I don't know when.
I think in my head, because I'm trying to work it up as like the Mandela effect, but it is Parker, get the Rolls Royce.
Yes. All right. Yeah,
Need
there's
it.
one there. The time being, there it says, I think 3 was a fab fact on the podcast before, but Richard never listens to that bit, so he wouldn't know.
Yes, quite right.
I
He
think you're
always
right.
checks
Yeah, I
out
think
for
it
that.
was. Yeah, there you go. There we are. And that's
There you go.
that's a special Thunderbirds edition of Fab or Fib.
There's your answer. Is that correct, folks? Can we confirm Matthew Alban said he does get called the Rolls in 2 episodes?
There we are.
So
Yeah.
there you go. Button Moon, first
Well
fab
done.
is correct. Congratulations.
Very,
Congratulations.
yes.
Fantastic. Richard James, I think they were particularly good. Fab and Fib, so congratulations, and elevated all the more by our fantastic artists for the evening.
Quite
So
right.
Chris
Well
and
done,
AC,
gentlemen.
take a bow.
Yes. Very good.
Excellent work from you, and I'm sure there'll be people wanting your lovely artworks. So if you do
Keep on
want
with them.
just drop us an email to fablive@jerryanderson.com, and we'll see if we can send out some sketches to you potentially. But yeah, I quite agree. Absolutely first class, all of you. So, folks, we are coming to the end of this special Thunderbirds Day Fab Live. I can slightly tease that there will be some more exciting news coming in about 10 or 11 days time, something like that. But that's
great.
all I can say right now. So you keep
Hate it
your
when he
eyes
does
and
that.
your ears open. And we'll just have a very, very quick recap of all the exciting stuff that's been going on. The very clever Chris Thompson, as well as being a great sketch artist, has also been putting together our beautiful imagery for the official Thunderbirds 2022 calendar.
Can confirm, each illustration also was done in 20 seconds.
You'll open the first page and it'll just be black pen on white paper, little sketches. And no, they are beautiful images, all accompanied with little stories written by AC, Chris, and
Cameron Stewart and Jack Noel.
And Jack. That's it. Thank you very much, Chris, for helping my failing brain there. Peril in Peru, the next of our hardback and audio CD releases up for pre-order today, and you can grab that. We have got to a place, hopefully, where all the releases, be they digital, physical, or hardback, will be on the same date now, we hope, at the end of November. So if you pre-order that, you should get it all at the same time. Go now, once we say goodbye, and watch the first episode of Tech Talk Series 3, which is The Mole, which appears to be the second most popular pod vehicle, according to a poll from our pod trolls. Also, if you haven't already downloaded it, like the 2,000 or so people who have already downloaded it today, go and grab Thunderbirds 4 Hours to Eternity. It's performed by the rather marvelous Nicholas Briggs. It's totally free. You can get it from the Jerry Anderson store, shop.jerryanderson.com. Just search 4 Hours to Eternity, or in fact, it's linked on the front page. You can download it totally free and enjoy a Thunderbird story taken from the 1968 Thunderbirds annual. We've got our lovely Thunderbirds Day t-shirts, which are available until the end of October. And of course, the most exciting thing for me personally is the upcoming concert, which we're announcing today, 16th of April, 2022, at Birmingham Symphony Hall. All the themes, loads of incidental music, and some rather special other bits and pieces, special guests, loads more things have been announced, and the tickets go on pre-sale next week on the 7th of October, courtesy of Birmingham Symphony Hall on their box office website. And you can access that pre-sale as viewers of Fab Live with the password Jerry2022, all in capital letters. I think that's about it, isn't it? What are you gents all doing for the rest of your Thunderbirds day?
Well, I'm probably editing the next episode of Tech Talk.
Okay, AC is doing Tech Talk.
Fab 1.
Chris is doing Fab 1.
I'm editing the randomizer at the moment.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, and Richard, you're just digesting your fish and chips, are you?
Yeah, that'll do for me.
Okay, fantastic. Right, folks. Well, we've had a great time having you all over the 2 hours this evening. Thanks all for joining us. Scott, yes, I know you sent an email, but I'm afraid we didn't get it in time to include it this evening. And also, I'm sure you've all got things to do, like listening to 4 Hours to Eternity and watching Tech Talk and getting ready to get your concert tickets and all that sort of stuff. So thank you very much for joining us. Oh, lovely. Great evening, says Steve. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye, chaps. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. We've had a great evening. And happy Thunderbirds Day, and we'll be back with you, I'm sure, very soon.
Yeah. Take care, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.